bit different today. We're not actually talking about Paladin, the Paladin product and the features in Paladin. We're talking about ways to increase the volume in your store and basically make more money. So my name is Charles Owen. I am the Business Alliance Manager here at Paladin. Been with Paladin about 7 years. The topic today, as I mentioned, is the top 10 success tips for increasing the bottom line, so basically protecting your nest egg. The takeaway today, the goal, is to find and use one of these top 10 tips that we discuss in this presentation and use that and implement that to hopefully drive your business harder and potentially increase your bottom line. So I talk about multiple anecdotes and examples of how you can do this, and we'll go through the top 10 right off the bat, and we just get right into this. I'm being assisted, just to mention how the webinar works, by Chad Klein. If you have questions, you can type in those questions on the screen and text, and he will respond. Everybody is in listen-only mode, so you can only hear me. I can't hear you. And at the end of the presentation, there'll be a quick survey that takes less than 3 seconds to answer just 3 quick questions. If you wouldn't mind taking time to do that, we'd appreciate it. And this will be recorded, so later on at any time, or if you want to share this, you can go to our website at paladinpointofsale.com/webinars, and that's spelled out, paladinpointofsale.com/webinars, plural. Okay, so a copy of this presentation will also be available there, so we'll just go ahead and get started right now. Our first slide, as I mentioned, we just throw them all out there. So the top 10 tips for success that we're going to be talking about today, and hopefully this won't go any more than 20-25 minutes, are about renovating growth. How do you increase growth in your store? Well, number one we're going to talk about is creating a success plan. So have a path to success that everybody can kind of march towards to changing and growing and building your store and your retail business. Second is focusing on strengths, on the strengths of the store, and the focus should be on selling, all right? So we're going to talk about that. Change and adapting, changing with the new, paradigm in the retail and commerce shift that we've all had to adopt. And this we'll be hitting on the beyond brick and mortar, meaning we'll talk about how you have a presence on the websites and e-commerce. Next is meeting your customers' needs by increasing the breadth of product, making sure you have product on your shelves to accommodate your customers. And then beyond that, eliminating the useless items, so reduce drag. It's very important to leverage the real estate that you have on your shelves, and we're going to be talking about that. Nurturing customers, customer loyalty is the 6th tip that we'll be talking about. Replicating success, using customers to help you increase the volume of your store. And we'll touch on that, as well as in-store marketing. There's a lot of marketing you can do in your stores, and we're going to talk about some really inexpensive ways that you can increase the visibility of your products and push more features or more products in your store. Okay, and then leading by example, talk about the 9th tip, which is employee training, very, very important topic. And then leveraging automation, which you all have as you are all customers of Paladin. So let's talk about the first one, creating your success plan. Develop a plan. Write out your goals. Share those goals. Define measurable targets. And celebrate the milestones. We do so many things in our store in a reactive mode. What we need to do is get more proactive and define and determine the goals and the growth and the changes that you're going to make in your store. Everybody should have goals, even if you just jot it down on a piece of paper and stick it on a pin on your cork board. Winston Churchill says, he fails to plan is planning to fail. So very, very important to do. This just kind of puts it in your subconscious mind to follow that path of least resistance, which is track to the goals. So very important to do. Sample of table contents might be, have your company charter and your goals and objectives laid out. Look at them, do a little bit of market analysis on who the competitors are and what your strengths and what your offerings are. Strategize on how you can execute on all of your goals, and put timelines. And for accountability, share it with an associate, and that person or persons can help hold you accountable. All right, the next tip is focus on selling. You are in the business of selling, not buying. Why do I write not buying? Well, it's very common that store owners and managers get so caught up in the back office functions and so caught up in buying and managing their inventory. And, you know, there's a tool out there for that. It's called Paladin, right? You use the tool, and if you're using suggested ordering, you're on top of your game. If you're not, you need to plan towards suggested ordering, because you are going to benefit tremendously. Getting you out of the back office in front of your customers, selling more products is the only way to make money. Buying doesn't make you any money. Also, higher margins, right? They're killing your profits. What do I mean by that? Well, you have a lot of fierce competition today. Not only do you have the big box store down the street, or you know, or your neighbor or what have you. You've got the internet. You've got e-commerce sites. You know, Amazon, eBay. All these sites are taking away your customers. Well, you need to compete. So you either take less of a margin, or you just leave the money on the table, right? So you want to reduce your margins, but reducing your margins, you're going to increase your volume, which is going to increase your profits, right? So don't hold on to your margins if you are risking having that item not move and having your inventory not turn. All right, so also another practice that we recommend is just-in-time ordering. Don't order a ton of items. Your gross margin return on investment just plummets when you buy a ton of products that you want to sell over, say, a 6-month or a year period. Now, in some cases, you have to buy up front. That's just part of the business, and certain things, you know, you have seasonal times when they're going to sell and other times they're not, and other items that you can only order during a certain time. So we understand that, but just-in-time ordering is the best way to increase your gross margin return on investment. So the effects of over-ordering, I think we all know this. You know, it reduces your gross margin return on investment. It takes up volume on and space on your shelves that could potentially be making money for you when it's just sitting there not moving. So turns are very, very important. You don't want to tie up extra money in the inventory. And a tool like Paladin will enable you to pull that and draw that money out if and only if you're using the suggested ordering feature. All right? Next tip is beyond brick and mortar. So tip number 3. You can actually dip your toe into this area of e-commerce, pardon me, if you haven't already done so. Now, I don't recommend you go out and you create a big website and you brand it and you put all your products on there and you sell it to the world. That's not what I'm preaching here. I'm talking about leveraging buy sites like Amazon and eBay that already have a presence. They already have a zillion eyeballs every hour going to their website. Just become a kiosk in there and sell certain items that you know, niche items that you have and that you sell, and help, you know, move product and turn product. It's a very effective way to do this. You can increase your income up to 20% or more, and there are other benefits that you can achieve through this as well. Visibility is one of those. Having more options to service your customers is really kind of important. So they can either look on the website for product and then come and shop in your store, or you can provide things like statements and or past invoices that they can look up. So for your accounts receivable customers, you can do that as well. It also enables you to tap into new territories. You know, you can leverage, you know, kind of extend the virtualness of your store, brick and mortar store, to more customers, and let you branch out without a significant capital. So that's number 3. Number 4, increase your product breadth. So what we talked about previously here in number 2, I think it was, is how do we, make better use of that inventory? Well, get rid of the slow movers and replace that with products that turn, products that will generate revenue and profit for you. All right. Well, that's one way. Also, the breadth of product to widen the selection helps increase your customers. Right. It's the old adage, you can't sell from an empty wagon, is very important here. They might come into your store, you fulfill 90 or 80% of what they need, but try to extend that out and appeal to more customers. Develop a product uniqueness or a niche market. I know there are several stores that are in different agriculture or farming communities or whatever it might be. Focus on a strength and really embrace that strength, and don't compete necessarily with the guy down the street if they're doing the same thing. Find something different and unique that will draw a new crowd of customers in. And of course, it's always important to achieve optimal stocking levels. And in order to do that, we can use the Paladin tool using the suggested order process. Okay. Number 5, reduce drag. So this is where you want to, again, leverage Paladin, leverage suggested ordering to help eliminate and reduce the amount of slow movers. Right? So there's 2 things that you want to do in your store as it pertains to inventory. One is reduce the outs, right? So you have more product on the shelf for your customers. And then secondly is you want to, reduce the overstock. So if your cost per square foot is greater than 50, it's kind of high. We've got very effective stores that are doing tremendous turns and profits, and they have about, anywhere between 33 and 43 cost per square foot, dollars cost per square foot. All right, and then again, as we talked about, reducing drag means reducing the slow movers, free up that space. I can't emphasize this enough. And you want to be able to do this without putting a lot of time into the inventory control. If you're not leveraging suggested ordering, more than likely you're walking your store, you're shooting for outs, you're still running out of products, but you're still probably over ordering as well. Again, it's very important to leverage the tool of Paladin suggested ordering to enable you to reduce outs and reduce slow movers, right? And then weed out whatever weak processes you have. Weak process might be a very strong process in your mind, and you invest hours a day into it, but when you have a tool, technology tool like Paladin or another point of sale that you can leverage to take on that work and that role, get rid of the arduous process and just make it simple. All right, step number 6 or tip number 6, customer loyalty, very important. Most of the Paladin customers have a rewards program of some sort, whether it's with their brand or it's with Rich Rewards. And it really helps to entice customers to come to your store, shop more often. It gives them a feeling of a sense of belonging. They've got their little card they carry with them. And there's a lot of added conveniences that it provides to your customers, like historical lookups. I can't tell you how nice it is to walk into a store and say, I came here 6 months ago and I bought this widget. I really need to get another one. Can you sell me another one? Well, if you're not tracking who's buying what in your store, it's going to be a lot longer process to figure that out. But if you're tracking the customer and they're part of the program, the customer loyalty program, it's just a lot easier to be able to recall those. You can also perform custom promotions and have secret sales for certain customers. Customers are more likely to shop in your store and take the extra drive, maybe spend a little bit more money if they know they're going to be incented with dollars when they come back to your store potentially. All right, the key point here is you can collect information to personalize the shopping experience for your customers. Number 7, customers are your best salespeople. I think everybody knows this, right? And when your customers come in, you just want to make them feel good, right? And when they feel good about shopping in your store, they like to refer you. If somebody asks them where they shop and where they go for whatever products, they're going to say your store if they enjoy and have a good experience. So you can do things like start a customer referral program, start a social media campaign, offer after-hour educational seminars, hold customer advocate meetings. These are just different ways that you can engage not only your customers, but engage in community activities. All right. So customers are our best salespeople. I think we all know that. We believe that 100% from Paladin's perspective. Number 8 tip, multimedia POS billboards. Now this is a very inexpensive way for you to advertise in your store. It also helps promote your products, and you can do this right at the point of sale. All it takes is another terminal, which are really inexpensive, or it can even be a tablet. And if that is something that you post right behind the counter or above the checkout station, and just have a running video or a running slideshow of products that you want to push. You might also even promote your people, promote your store, different things that you do for the community. You can have interviews of your customers. Easy to do, simple, doesn't require a lot of dollars. For under a couple $100, you can have a point-of-sale billboard right there at your checkout. It enhances the shopping experience. It entertains the customer while they're waiting in line, and you might actually get some upsells out of it. All right. A lot of stores do this today. It can be a little annoying, I admit, in some of the big box stores where you walk by every end cap and there's a video or a DVD going. Yeah. Just do it smart. Do it to where it enhances the shopping experience and not annoy people. All right, number 9, employee training, very important. So how you treat your employees is how your employees will treat your customers. So important. And this is one of those things where, just teach them to smile. Tell your, and most stores know this, but I can't tell you how many stores I go into where you walk into the store and everybody's frowning and everybody's, kind of grumpy, and they're, yeah, I'll show you where that is type of thing. And, and if you're being fun and funny, because I've seen kind of that personality trait in some of these owners, and people like that and they connect with them. But I'll tell you what, a smile goes so far. Train your employees on proper customer etiquette. Tell them that it's the customer that's giving them the paycheck at the end of the month, not the business. It is your customers that are the only way that you can increase sales and you can bring money into your store. So train them by example. And I'm sure everybody does this, but if you don't, please consider, be courteous, kind, polite. Always give your customer the benefit of the doubt. And if somebody's arguing over a $10 item or a $20 return, you know what? That's a very inexpensive way for marketing, right? I mean, some of the marketing campaigns that you do probably cost thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. If somebody's complaining, one of your customers is complaining about something, and you have a policy that says it's a no return policy, you know what? For 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks, it's well worth keeping the customer on your side, and just concede and just tell them this is a one-time thing or whatever. Very important. Also get to know your customers, and you can do this with a customer loyalty program. So with the loyalty program, the cashier is forced to ask what the customer's name so they can enter the name in to give them potential rewards and also track their sales. And then also ask your customers for feedback. All right, number 10, last success tip for increasing the bottom line today, POS automation, point of sale. All right, so you've got a point of sale system. You're using Paladin. You can track customer purchases. You can do historical lookups. Very key to offering these types of additional services to your customers above and beyond what the competition does. All right. You can manage the store from a mobile device. If you don't currently have our mobile devices activated, we have several of them in play today. One is where you can see how your store is performing at any time in the world in real time or anywhere in the world. The next is we have mobile devices where you can do remote signatures, right? So you can just pass a tablet to somebody in a wheelchair or out the window or what have you to sign with their fingers. Another one is our delivery app, which is a really cool mobile app, which we have a delivery scheduler which tracks it all on a device, and in real time it hooks up to the Paladin system. So leverage that. Accounts receivables, everybody's using accounts receivables, I believe, and if you're not, you should be, because it's a push of a button at the end of the month. All right, POS billboards, very inexpensive way to promote your store, your products, and the current sales that you have. Customer loyalty program, it's just embedded in Paladin, or we comply with, you know, the ACE, the Do It Best, the repeat rewards, which many of the pharmacies and other retail stores are offering. So these are different programs that you should be participating in if you're not doing that today. Supplier integration, EDI, electronic data interchange is what it stands for. It enables you to send orders and receive invoices automatically. It's a no-brainer for the big suppliers. Some of the smaller suppliers, even some of the big suppliers, you don't need it, but it does make it a lot more convenient, and I would recommend leveraging the point-of-sale automation for that. Inventory control, super important. As I've talked about in the first, half a dozen slides, suggested ordering is the way that you get the most out of your inventory. And then last but not least, credit card compliance. So we can keep you compliant with your credit cards. We can keep the information encrypted, tokenized. We're accommodating EMV when that solution comes out in the U.S., as well as AVS and all the other required ways to help not only comply but also drop your cost. And then last, business reporting. There's a lot of reports in Paladin that you can get today that are just what I call the one push button reports. But beyond that, if there are reports that you need, we can custom design them. You can hire a programmer to custom design them, because we give you, our customers, the tools to be able to extract any data out of our system from any table. And you can do that. I have one of the webinars that I talk about is about using ODBC and Excel, and that is a simple way to just click on an Excel spreadsheet, click on a table, and you can draw the information right out of it. So if you want reports of some of the back office functions, you can generate a report, a supplier report, a sale list report. These are things that you can just generate within seconds directly and put them into an Excel spreadsheet and generate them as a printout or hard copy or PDF. That's it, guys. I've done this in 26 minutes. Really appreciate you attending today. If you have any questions, again, you can type them in the screen. The survey will pop up at the end of this presentation. And to see these presentations in the future, you can go to paladinpointofsale.com/webinars. You can see it right on the screen here. And next seminar is on Tuesday. And that Tuesday seminar is going to be talking about making the most out of Paladin support and educational tools. And Mike Horn, our Director of Customer Service, will be presenting that. Again, these presentations are, yes, they're for tips and tricks in Paladin and how certain features work, and we're going to continue to do that. But occasionally, like today and next week, there'll be other ways that we're going to help you manage your retail stores, manage your inventory. And in the case of next week's presentation, we'll help you with some of the self-help tools that we have. So if you happen to call in a Paladin, you're waiting for a call back, there's other ways that you can potentially get help. And those self-help tools, easy for me to say, are easy to use, like knowledge base, webinars, training videos, and that sort of thing. But again, I thank everybody. I'm going to end the broadcast now, and have a great day. And thank you again for your participation. Bye-bye.